Well, I drew the short straw. He needed a program, and so between all of us sisters, I am the shortest. So that's how I got picked. And so you'll have to put up with me. But thank you, Rotarians, for letting me be here today. I always enjoy it. We've been here many, many years. I think we started as little. We were in dance, and I think my grandpa, Raleigh Doden, had us come in to do a show. Do you remember when the stage used to be over here?
Oh, yeah.
In the church? Yeah, there was a stage over here, and so we performed on that stage. That's been a long, long time ago. They took that out.
No. It's still over.
Oh, it's still over there.
Yeah.
So you can still dance if you want.
Oh, we can.
Yeah.
I was thinking, that's how young I was. I can't remember it. Anyways, we've been here for the Wannabes. If you all know about the Wannabes organization, you've been supportive of that. We're so appreciative of it. We have a trip coming up the end of June, going into July, down to Jamaica. We also have been working at Gigi's over in Fort Wayne for some of our local missions, doing a lot of things locally actually right now. But I'm here today to share with you as a health and life coach just some fun stuff that I thought might be good. Because one of my favorite things about coming here is the free meal. I'm glad you didn't call me out on that. When he asked me, I was like, well, I do really enjoy that meal. The kitchen's always great, and so I always enjoy that. And so I'm wondering, are you like me? After you have lunch, are you starting to think about that next meal? Are you starting to get excited about dinner and what you're going to have? And I'm just curious, what is that going to be? So today we'll talk a little bit about food, but not necessarily about nutrition, more about how we are with food, because I think it's just a fun topic. I really did enjoy watching everybody eat because you guys have a good time. And I was thinking, which table would I pick? I like everybody at all these different tables. And it looked like there was good conversation going on, so it's so good. A little bit about my journey is I grew up with my mom and dad, Barry and Sharon Haver, one of the best houses to live in because I loved coming home at night. My mom was an awesome cook, and so I always looked forward to whatever we were going to have around the table. And we did have that family where you just ate what was at the table. So you didn't really get to be selective. But thank goodness she was a good cook, so I always looked so forward to it. One of my favorite things about childhood. I could eat about anything. I had a high metabolism and didn't really think much about what I was putting in my body. It was pretty non-thinking. I just enjoyed what I put in my body. And we always had a good time at the table, talking about a lot of fun things or about our day, that type of thing. Then when I went to college, my first roommate was Eric's wife, Jill, and we had just an awesome year at college. And they told me, oh, when you go to college, you do the freshman 15. You add 15 pounds. It's like, that sounds like a good challenge. So we could eat at the buffet 3 times a day, and then we would look out our window, our dorm room, and there was Domino's, and why not end with a large pizza? So it was pretty easy to put on that 15, and then as you went into your sophomore year, you put on another 20. After that, then I was like, this really isn't that comfortable. So I started doing the diet fads. Have anybody heard of a diet? It's kind of taken over our culture, right? It's this thing called the diet culture. So I tried getting that off, up and down. My friend and I, Stephanie and I, we were always trying every new diet. Oh, we'll start on Monday, and by Tuesday we were done, and you know how it is. It's up and down all around. Finally, by my mid-20s, I was like, I'm done with this diet stuff. This just doesn't work. All it does is feed up your mind. And I started just listening to my body. And when I needed to eat, when I didn't, that's a lot easier. So we're going to get more into that in just a little bit, but I want to give you a little more about my journey so you know my perspective. As I got pregnant in my early 30s, I had a whole switch in my health. And my health pretty much went downhill in my 30s. And I found out I was hypoglycemic, which my mom is. I can just thank her for those genetics. And we both were pregnant in our 30s, and she had the same thing come on at the same time when she had Lisa. So I didn't know what was going on for a couple years, but anyways, pretty miserable for a while until I got it under control, basically with learning what to put in my body so I could feel well. So big change as I took the next 5, 10, 15 years to focus on that. I now can pretty much eat anything again, got myself under control with all of that, and I'm going to use some of the tools that really have helped me. I also became a health coach 6 years ago, and I now do mostly life coaching. If you've never heard of that, I work with mostly people of faith who feel insecure, and I help them become more confident in who they were created to be. And it's really fun to work with people like that. And then my daughter, 3 years ago, went through a very severe eating disorder. If you don't know of anybody with an eating disorder, you probably do know someone with an eating disorder. It's a pretty heavy thing that's happening right now. And I think it has a lot to do with our diet culture. So we've really learned to change the way we talk about food, the way we are around food, and to really just notice that maybe what's healthy for you isn't healthy for me. So today I wanted to share just some tools. I wanted to say we're going to drop the rules and use our tools. And before I get into that, one thing I think that I founded U2FP, that's who I work for, it's U2 Full Potential. It's the letter U, the number 2, FP for Full Potential. So U2 Full Potential. And we founded it on Psalm 139. And I know a lot of in here are Christians, and a lot of you are probably in your Bibles daily. So if you haven't read it lately, just read 139, and it reminds us that we were all created uniquely. We all have unique gifts. We all have unique bodies, all of that good stuff. With most of my clients, we really get into this book, Breaking Free of Body Shame, because it seems to be the diet culture has really created shame around how we are. We try to fit in this box, right? I don't know about men, but women want to be like a size 6 and be all perfect, and we just weren't all made that way, right? So we got to get rid of that body shame. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy these. Maybe you can pick one that you could use, but 8 ideas to drop the rules and use your tools. So drop comparison. Again, we just talked about it. You were designed perfectly in the Creator's image. You can learn to love who you are. You'll naturally take better care of yourself, and here's how. When you drop, compare, and go with what is best for your body, what's healthy for you may not be healthy for me. I'll give you a couple examples. This helps me be more confident in what I choose to eat, or what I choose to do, or when I choose to consume with who. One thing is if I said, hey, do you want cantaloupe or French fries? I'll bet you most of you went to, oh, I bet she wants me to say cantaloupe. Right? That we just seem to have this judgment around food in our country. And my friend Kim, is just severely allergic to cantaloupe. So if she said cantaloupe, that would not be so good for her. She would probably choose the French fries, right? I would probably choose the French fries. However, my body probably would like the cantaloupe better. So I'd have to think about that. But anyways, we have to think some people can't eat gluten. And some people think, well, they can't eat gluten, maybe I shouldn't eat gluten. Well, for most people, gluten's going to be just fine, right? We're all different. Same thing with dairy. We've got a lot of people that grew up on the farm, and they're going to be just fine with milk right from the cow, right? Where many people can't stomach that. So we're all so different. So number 2, dropping the rules and using your tools, is to drop judgment and use curiosity. Has anybody heard that? Okay, there's some people walking around with shirts now, so it's becoming more of a thing, but just let go of the judgment and use curiosity. What experience do you want with this choice? Sometimes I know people that really are trying to maybe lose weight, but yet they don't want to miss out on that experience with their grandkids or with their kids going to get ice cream. And so really think, what experience do I want? Do I need to have this ice cream to be relational? Or could I be relational without the ice cream? Maybe I really do want that ice cream. And then just think why. What experience are you going for when you choose that? Number 3, drop deny and use delay. Sometimes when you're unsure, and I see this on both sides of the coin. I work with people who want to lose weight, and also I've told you I've got 5 people in my life with an eating disorder, and that are close to me. And so there's always this thing in their brain thinking, oh, I shouldn't have that, oh, I shouldn't have that, oh, I shouldn't have that. And I've noticed most of the diet trends seem to be you can or can't have that. But what happens when you deny? What happens when you say, I can't have that? I want that, right? So when we just delay the option, you know what? I think I do want ice cream, but I'm not sure. So I think I'm just going to wait a little bit and think about it, and I'll think about it in 10 more minutes. Number 4 on the rules is drop quitting and use grace. I see so many people do this. They mess up once, and then they just quit. That's it. I'm off the wagon, right? Ooh, that's hard. When you make a mistake, you you probably just maybe took a step backwards. And it's a lot easier to go down and up the steps than to jump on and off a wagon. Get what I'm saying? Hurts the knees when you go up and down those wagons. Number 5, drop all or nothing and use moderation. Didn't Grandma always teach us moderation? Moderation? The all or nothing. I can remember back in college, one of the first diets we tried was the grapefruit diet. Does anybody remember that one? Oh, just eat grapefruits all day. It'll reset you and you'll be fine. And I was like, grapefruits all day, that sounds miserable. But I'm sure I partaked in it. And it didn't do anything for me. But moderation is such a key to really all of our living in all parts of our life. Drop the stress and use a relaxed mindset. We talk a lot about the parasympathetic and the sympathetic central nervous system, right? We want to be, we don't talk about it here. I talk about it a lot with my work. But anyways, we want to be in that relaxed mindset. Do you know it's better for me to eat Doritos, which Lisa and I love. So next time we come, you could bring some Doritos for us. But it's better to eat Doritos in a relaxed state than a salad in a stressed state. Our body's going to absorb those nutrients so much better when we're in a relaxed state. I'm not sure how much nutrients are in Doritos, but I'm going to pretend there's a lot. All right, and where are we at? We are on number 7. Drop the shovel, that's shoveling it in really fast, and use the chew. And for you older men, I'm not trying to be an advertisement for Red Man right now, but chewing is one of those good habits that we sort of forgot about. My grandma Haber would always say, Laurie, you just eat so fast. And I still do. She's still reminding me in the back of my mind that I just eat so fast. And it really is better for us to just slow down, enjoy our food, and allow the nutrients to go where they need to go. And finally, once you've implemented all of those, drop the guilt and just enjoy every bite. The more we can use our senses, the more we can savor the moment, the more we can be in on the experience we're having, the better we can feel about ourselves, and the better we can feel about everything that's around us. So I think one of the most important things is remember we're all uniquely made. I think that's one of the best ways to remember who we are, what we've done, and to go for that. And I'm just curious what you're having for dinner tonight. If it's pizza, pasta, hamburgers, that kind of thing, I'd probably like to come over. But if it's Brussels sprouts like my mom, I told you she was a great cook. But one thing that was not so great is she'd make us eat these Brussels sprouts. We did not like those. Although anymore, you can go get Brussels sprouts at a restaurant. Oh, are they delicious? Yeah, she had not learned that recipe back then. So that was good. But I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for being here, for letting us be here. And I'm going to do everything I can to get Lisa to draw the short straw next year. Any questions?
I've always noticed this about our exchange students, because they make comments about they don't have in Spain or Brazil, they buy the meals as they prepare the meals. They will go to like fresh markets and stuff. And I've heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they say you go to Walmart, you guys got a shopping cart full of like 2 weeks of food, frozen foods, milks, eggs, everything, and you guys load up. Where their culture is, they buy a meat, buy the food they need for the next couple meals and prepare that. Yeah. And they go. Have you noticed that with maybe foreign people that you've worked with?
I have not, but that's a good point. I think there are people that will say they just go each day to the grocery store.
Right.
That kind of sounds exhausting, but
Yeah.
I'm such a planner. Yeah. Good point, though.
Any other questions for us?
When I think of exchange students, about every one of them put on weight when they come home.
Probably, yeah.
They literally do. Most of them will tell you that they, get bigger and stuff, and it's
Portions in America
probably
are huge. They say they can't believe how big a.
Yeah.
They go to a 7-Eleven and get like a super big gulp, and it's like, how can you drink this?
That must have been
Yeah.
exchange.
Oh.
But we had friends that lived in Brazil for like 7 years. He was an engineer for Souder woodworking, and they moved him down there. And he said their meals are a social event. It's a family. They eat everything in proportion. He said it's actually family time, social time, and it's slow down, no stress.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you're talking about. He said they ate like that for like 7 years. It was a complete culture.
I'm glad you brought that up because I don't think I shared that. That's really why this is on my heart, is because what I noticed, and I don't know about you guys, but today was really enjoyable, getting to just eat, be relational, and enjoy, not even really think about my food. My food was there to enjoy, but I'm not thinking so much about what's going in. But that's what's really been on my mind. I've noticed that I can't go too many places, whether it's a conference, whether it's out with friends, whether it's with family, that someone's not commenting on what they're eating or what I'm eating, or what I should be eating, or what they should be eating. And it's just kind of taken away the joy. And I think that's maybe why I'm out to just share so much about, hey, let's just take that back and start to love ourselves, love who we are, love who they are, and get rid of that judgment so we can enjoy the food again. So that's a good point.
So you run into any people that got to overcome their childhood when they had to clean up their plate?
That is a tough one. I do have quite a few because I work with quite a few women 60 and 70, and that is definitely a mentality. They really have a hard time. I do have my mastery in coaching, so I'm on the verge of, I wouldn't call it therapy because I'm not a therapist, but I can deep dive them in, and we do a few different techniques. One is called the family table, and it can help take them back and change those belief systems, change those patterns. And so they don't really change the positive intention from it, but they do change the methodology, which can be really, really helpful for them to move forward.
Do you ever find I've noticed this too, now maybe some of us do it, I do it on occasion, but when you go into a restaurant and you see families eating together, most of them are on their phones. Do you ever notice that?
Yes.
And they're not talking to each other, they're looking at their phones until the waitress comes up, they stop what they're looking at to tell them what they want, and they're right back into their phones.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Talking about
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My kids just know, we have a no phone policy.
Yeah, my mom says that happens at home too, and probably with her. Not her. Yeah. Oh.
Anything else, Bert? Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for your program. Good luck to you and your endeavors with life coaching and teaching and everything. We appreciate that. We appreciate Barry and the family for coming today. Wonderful. So with that, we will dismiss with the pledge of allegiance.